Several years ago, when you could actually travel on an airplane, Sarah and I went to Mexico City and ate a lot of amazing food. And one of the things that I've been thinking about this week from that trip was these Enchiladas Suizas that they make at the Sanborn's department store in Mexico City. It's like chicken enchilada with tomatillo cream sauce and poblano chilies in it, and lots of cheese on top, and they're like swimming in sauce. And it's just a very appealing meal I haven't had since we visited. And I looked online and found a recipe for it on Severe, and we're gonna go for that. Let's get everything we need out. I've already got some shredded chicken from a rotisserie chicken. I pulled the blender out because we're gonna use it for the sauce. We need cilantro and tomatillos and 2 poblanos and 2 serranos and sour cream. The poblanos, we're gonna blacken the skins and then peel them. I'm just gonna leave these sitting on the gas burner to char them first. Then we'll turn the broiler on because we're gonna broil the tomatillos and the serranos. Just gonna peel the husks off the tomatillos and rinse them off. The recipe calls for 1.5 pounds of tomatillos, and that's basically what I have here. But we're also just gonna do this by taste. I'm gonna put some foil down on my sheet pan because otherwise it'll make a big mess. Check on these. Oops. The front burner is way hotter than the back, so it's gonna move faster. We might as well trim the stems off the serranos while we're at it. Alright, get these under the fire. Might arrange them to be close to the broiler. The idea is to really blacken them. We need a cup of roughly chopped cilantro. How are these doing? It's getting ashy at the end there. We just need a little bit more on the shoulders on this one. Oops. All right, that's good. That's good as well. And then I'm just gonna cover this with some plastic so that it'll steam and loosen the skins. Just leave it there for a little bit. All right, that's good. Check on the tomatillos. Also gonna need to toast some cumin seeds. We're also gonna need 4 garlic cloves. And I'm just gonna roughly chop the garlic so that it actually blends in the blender. Alright, let's toast half a teaspoon of cumin. That is way more than half a teaspoon. That's like a tablespoon. I'll just use half of that. Just go ahead and put it in the... And the 4 roughly chopped garlic cloves, and about a cup of roughly chopped cilantro. Just a little bit more on the greener sides of the tomatillos, and then we're gonna peel them. I think these are probably cool enough to handle now. Hope I got this side enough. Just gonna peel off as much of the peel as you can. I'm actually gonna throw this one back on. This one definitely got it. Perfect. All right, that is definitely charred. I'm gonna turn the oven to 375 while we're here. I'm just gonna open these up and cut around the seed pod. And leave the seeds on the cutting board or in the sink. This part where I didn't get the skin off, I'm just gonna sort of trim the skin off and then roughly chop, and we're gonna throw it in the blender. The serranos just get chopped. Seeds, skin and everything. Stem seeds and everything. These tomatillos are pretty damn hot, but I'm in a hurry, so I'm gonna try to take the skins off and leave the pulp. Oosh. All right, so now that we got those the pulps of the tomatillos, we're just gonna push those into the blender as well. All right, so we've got the garlic, and the cumin seeds, and the tomatillos, the serranos, the poblanos. And to that we're going to add a cup of sour cream. And season with salt, pepper. To all of that, we're going to add some boiling water. I'm a little skeptical of adding water to food. Like, I wish I was adding stock. I'm tempted to put a little bit of bouillon powder in here, but just to pretend that I have stock. But I'm gonna hold off a little bit on it to make sure that it's not too much water.
You want some water? I'll get you some water. They got good.
It's pretty thin.
More water?
It's got some heat. Might not be too kid friendly. You never know with poblanos. I think this is too thin and will make soggy enchiladas. I'm gonna thicken it up on the stovetop.
Margarita.
Margarita. Margarita up.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers, Abe.
Mama.
Yeah?
Mama. Ah. Alright, this has been simmering and thickening up. I think this is looking better. It's also less vibrantly green, which I definitely don't remember it being vibrantly green. Although Sanborn's Cafe is a very darkly lit place at 1 in the morning or whenever I had these. Ooh, that's really good. Needs more salt. Actually, cooking it down got rid of a little bit of the heat, which is gonna make it better for the kids. I'm gonna add a little bit more sour cream. This is very fresh and vibrant tasting and still quite spicy. And I just don't remember it actually being very spicy at all. Not that I don't want some spice, but I definitely want it to be rich. I'm gonna just whisk it in a bit. Oh, that's so good. Wow. I'm gonna cover that up and take care of the tortillas. All right, I got a little nonstick pan. It's helpful to use nonstick for this job because sometimes the tortillas stick, especially if they're cold. We're just gonna get like a shallow frying situation going on with canola oil or any other neutral oil. I'll have this here to catch the fried tortillas. And yesterday for breakfast, I made some breakfast tacos, so I made some extra tortillas, and that's what we're gonna use. So you're not trying to make tostadas here, you're just trying to soften up the tortilla in oil, and the oil's hot enough when it bubbles when you put it in, so there you go. And depending on how hot the oil is, it might take like 30 seconds or a minute just to get them back to pliability, because otherwise they would just crack in half. There's also something about like getting a little oil into the tortilla. I just feel like recipes where you don't do this, where you do it in sauce, tend to be mealy and not have the nice bite. I really hate like soggy enchiladas, and I'm gonna cook these a little bit differently than the recipe calls for, because I think this recipe's method is gonna lead to sogginess. Cool. Yeah. All right, the way that I'm doing this, I only have room for 8 tortillas. I'm gonna tell you what my plan is here. The recipe calls for using a baking dish and putting them all in a baking dish, but my memory of, and my photographic evidence of having them at Sanborn's is they come in a plate with sauce, and they've obviously been like put under the salamander. It also calls for like cooking these at 375 for quite a while, and in my experience, that makes really mealy and soggy enchiladas. So I'm gonna pop them in the oven at 375 in these individual baking dishes, and then I'm gonna finish it with the broiler, and hopefully not get a soggy result. To finish off the filling, we're gonna add a little bit of the sauce. And then I need to grate the cheese. I've got this Oaxaca cheese. You could also use low moisture mozzarella. I don't know if this cheese really has anything in common with like real Oaxacan cheese, or got about 1.5 cups of shredded cheese here. I'm gonna taste this real quick. This is a supermarket chicken and it needs a little bit more salt.
Okay.
So we're gonna do...
I'm watching your Olympics. Are you guys competing in the Olympics?
as much filling as we can cram into each one of these, since we're only going to be able to have 2 enchiladas a piece in these baking dishes, so I want them to be kind of hearty, and they're going to be really, really saucy. All right, then we're going to roll these, put them seam side down in the dish. And then we're just gonna ladle sauce over the top until it reaches about the halfway point up the enchilada. I'm not sure I have enough for that, but I guess I'll distribute the sauce first. Yeah, I cooked it down, so. Try to coat the corners so they don't get hard. Redistribute the wealth a little bit. Alright, that's all the sauce I got. And then we're gonna be really generous with the cheese. I want more cheese. When I was a kid growing up in Texas, my favorite restaurant food on earth was any kind of cheesy enchilada. I mean, they could have chicken in them or something, but it just needed to be like absurdly cheesy. Even like the worst cheese enchiladas, like I don't know if you've ever heard of a place called Poncho's. It's just like Velveeta and tortillas. I used to love that stuff, so I'm gonna go for really cheesy. All right, I'm gonna put this in the 375-degree oven for about 10 minutes, I guess, and then I'll broil it. All right, I've been shuffling these around in the broiler for a while. I think that's about as evenly browned as I'm gonna get. The sauce definitely got pretty thick. Well, this is so hot that I cannot possibly take a bite on camera right now. It's like super bubbly. I'm gonna be a total heathen and take a bite with a spoon.
Oh my god. It's really hot.
It looks incredibly hot.
It's really, really hot.
Can you go to the emergency room for eating hot things?
Yes.
Yes. Let's see, I'm afraid. Oh my god. Okay. That's molten lava, but so freaking good, and nothing like what I remember the Sanborn. So, I don't think that they put the poblanos in the sauce, first of all. Because I have a picture, and you can see that there's sliced roasted poblano on the enchilada plate. It was not green. Maybe I used a little too much cilantro, but in any case, this is so delicious and worthwhile. But we're gonna have a little dinner. Thanks for joining us. We'll catch you later.